is the first ever Brunch for Lunch Mycological Association meeting in September. There's a good reason for that. Our guest speaker is from the West Coast, and we have 2 truffle forays, and the subject is truffle. So the whole reason for this was to arrange it on Labor Day weekend. So obviously this is the 5th of September, which is our not quite our normal meeting date. I'm informed that this is actually officially Mushroom Month, which is something I did not know. Tom informed me. So I wonder if there's a place where they list all the different months. There must be one for every plant and animal that there is. But anyway, this is Mushroom Month, so another special reason to celebrate. On the screen there, you'll see the mycovore's dilemma. If you remember Michael Pollan's The Omnivore's Dilemma, this is sort of our dilemma, and his was too, by the way, eating mushrooms. On the upper left is a white mushroom, and right below it is another white mushroom. I found them both within about 100 yards of each other, growing in the same habitat. The upper one is the destroying angel, and if you turn it over on the right upper corner, you see the white gills. And at the right on the lower side, you see the pink gills. Other than that, they're almost indistinguishable. I mean, there's a few other features. And just the one in the center was taken right between the 2, and it's very difficult to tell which of the 2 it is. So this is the mycovore's dilemma, which is the thing we get asked the most about, what to eat. So if you think you know what it is, we all know now that fungi are pretty well connected into our world, and in a way we didn't know. So maybe, in fact, they aren't even sure which of the 2 they might be. So this is, if you've never heard the term the Wood Wide Web, so these are the mushrooms talking to each other. Here come the gatherers, look poisonous. So I'm not sure if they're actually doing this, but if you look carefully and see any with glasses on, perhaps you might do a second check on your identification. So here's our board, and I'm President William Needham, and you'll hear also from our 4A chair, Ms. Foray later on, and Tom McCoy, who will introduce our speaker. We're in the middle of getting our board together for next year. If you look at the bottom there, if you would like to get involved, please email. We have a nominating committee email, but any email that says MAWDC will get to the nominating committee. And we're interested in seeking some new people to join the board. So these are our programs remaining. Notice I have a 3 August, that was last month, because Dr. Stevenson, if you were fascinated by slime molds, he's going to be teaching an online course at the Eagle Hill Institute. That will come out in our announcements after the meeting with the details of that. Tonight, or not tonight, I'm used to saying tonight, this afternoon, of course, is Michael Castellano on truffles, and the remainder of our talks for and we still haven't set up November quite. And all programs will include, of course, mushroom identification. So some general notes. We've more or less elected to continue with virtual meetings, certainly through the end of this year, and perhaps, ad infinitum. I believe we're going to at least try that. We'll see how it works. We have a number of committees. Mycoflora is just changed over. Tom McCoy is going to be the new chair of that, so that's going to probably get some more activity. That's identifying mushrooms according to DNA, fungi, I should say. And then scholarships, which is Megan Romberg, our science advisor, is the scholarship committee chair, is actively looking for people to evaluate proposals or to be a member of the committee. Not a lot of impact. If you're interested in working with that, please let her know or let me know, and I'll get the word to her. We mentioned several times we're going to have a photo contest. So that's now in its kind of final stages. So please do submit your ideas or photos to that address there, MAWDC Photo Contest. So our events the NAMA foray is actually just over. I am mentioning that again. Our Sequanota weekend foray is coming up this coming weekend. There are still a couple openings. If you are interested at the last minute of attending, it is available. Kennett Square, the mushroom capital of the world, is having a festival also this weekend. That's in Pennsylvania. The Gary Lakoff Foray is next weekend, or actually the weekend after next. And our mushroom fair is in October, and we're having our first culinary event, hopefully, on the 24th of October at Anzo Cidery, which is in Washington. And just closing with a couple of interesting notes as things happen during the world. I don't know if you read the Scientific American article as Paul Stamets was being interviewed concerning what I guess he coined the word astromycology. And they're actually trying to figure out in this, if you remember the Biosphere 1, they're starting up a sort of a second biosphere, a Martian soil containment. So they're asking, one of the issues, they didn't have fungi intentionally in Biosphere 1. It didn't work very well, by the way. So, and Paul Stamets quoted, I always wanted to be the first astromycologist, so I guess that he is. And not surprisingly, the candidate that he found is the oyster mushroom, which is the upper right, which I would probably have guessed without even doing any work. Second note there is cordyceps, an article in American Chemical Society. Obviously got some very interesting compounds coming out of it, and so the cyclic peptides are what they use apparently to invade insects, thinking that might become one particular way we could use some new medicinals. And finally, and last not least, the state of Texas has an official new state fungus. Of course, it is a star-shaped fungus. I guess anything with a star officially becomes Texas. And so it's being issued as a license plate design if you are from Texas. Apparently the older name is the Devil Cigar. I'm not sure, and it's one of its earlier stages. So perhaps Maryland should get involved and have our own fungus. But I was thinking if anything with a Lone Star belongs to Texas, they ought to also adopt the Lone Star tick, which is the thing I have in the bottom right. It's sort of poetic justice. That's the one that if it bites you and you get the infection, I can't remember the name of it, but you get violently ill if you eat red meat. So I think the Lone Star tick would be another good acquisition if they ever decide they need a state arachnid. So that being said, welcome again to the Mycological Association meeting. And I'm going to turn it over now to Mitch Forney, who is going to talk about some of the mushrooms that have been found around here recently.